Okay, so it seems like the Genshin Impact situation is getting even worse. Now, obviously, I've covered about 3 videos on this now, and there is a lot to kind of cover. I feel like, maybe I still got a couple of videos left in me to talk about everything to do with the community's reaction, and also even more information we have coming out about the new strikes and about the, I say new strikes, it's not really new strikes, the strikes have been going on for ages, but the new drama to do with the strikes, and also some other things that happen, because it seems like the people are kind of finally turning on some of the voice actors, which are just being annoyances, I guess, in the community. And also, we've got even more information about the strikes and, everything to do with Genshin Impact. Obviously, I talked in the last video about a new kind of evidence, I guess, behind some Chinese laws, which actually could prove the fact that there's already AI protections in place. But again, we got this post from the Acra Wave saying, first of all, Genshin Impact is not and never was a union project, and by own union rules, that they shouldn't have been working with HoYoverse in the first place, but for some reason they did. Now, obviously, this is in response to Kaylee Mills, the voice actor for Kuching. They say, second of all, forcing non-union VAs to join the union, which means paying a significant sum for a membership fee in the first place, and possibilities of their membership being terminated due to Global Rule 1 if they decide to work on non-union projects. Guess what project is non-union? They say, third, appealing to protection from AI is the most ridiculous argument for the strike. SAG-AFTRA openly states on their website about the partnership with Replica Studios and usage of Enthavox, which is a AI voice model. The strike is against things union is already partnered with, and thus positions of VAs taking part in such strike seems vulnerable because of their only arguments cause failure. Now, obviously, and they say, and finally, the real reason behind the union is to explicitly manage who can work with who, taking over projects and creating a monopoly where non-union VAs will be forced to join or they'll be left behind. This whole story is an example of the most hypocrite approach to create a monopoly under the flags of protection. Whole union is a masquerade and thus shall be called out. Reveal yourself. So again, it seems like they are not happy with the fact of, what the unions are doing. And it's very clear as day to see that they are, trying to create a monopoly whenever it comes to voice acting and, managing who works with who, as they say in this, which again, I think it's been very obvious from the very, very start. And it seems like, yeah, a lot of this stuff, and the main reason why a lot of people are angry, especially at SAG-AFTRA, is the fact that they are, using this AI stuff as a reason to kind of get control, which just doesn't feel very right. Because again, when you use something so nice and noble as like protecting voice actors from, a lot of this kind of stuff, this AI stuff, but then your real reasoning is to get more control over everything, it's just like, okay, that just doesn't sit very well with anyone. Now, they actually followed up on a post, on this post in particular, they said thanks to Jennifer Caitlin Roberts, who's another voice actor. So this is someone who's actually knowledgeable on the topic. And, obviously we had the Paimon crash out the other day where she's like, no one knows anything, they're not voice actors. Well, this is coming from a voice actor and is backed up by a voice actor themselves who's in the industry. They say a voice actress who shared some insights on how does union work and shed light onto what is actually going on behind the curtains. Now, let's have a look. They say, first of all, some claimed that union earns a part of total revenue from the whole product its creators participated in. That's not explicitly true, and while exact numbers are unavailable to the public from information on the website, union takes only a percentage from what creators are getting paid from their work, which is in terms of supporting the life of the union itself is acceptable. Thus, another claim that SAG-AFTRA is a non-profit organization, which was probably a joke but nonetheless is denying itself because the information about their fees was available on their website. They say, second of all, based on the insight, HoYoverse isn't actually as good as they might have been, and they are known among the VA community for quite a while as a company that pays less for voice acting. One of the main topics of discussion between Union and HoYoverse besides AI is demand of increasing payments, which we've known about for a little bit of a while now. They say this statement shifts perspective significantly. However, it's still unclear if those demands can't be reached without locking their projects for non-union VAs, making them SAG-AFTRA exclusive. They say negotiations continue, but it seems like there's a disagreement on some crucial points. They say third, the terms of working with both voice actors and game studios are still lacking clarity. An initial claim that Genshin Impact as well as Honkai Star Rail are not the union projects remains valid, and due to the union's global rule 1, it remains unclear how union and devs decided to work together in the end without signing a contract and making Hoyo projects union exclusive. A hint in terms of points onto a ability of somehow ignoring global rule 1 if a representative of the union says it's allowed, which seems odd. So it seems like there's been a little bit of a, I guess, difference made for HoYoverse. So apparently they were supposed to sign something, or they should have signed something in the first place for like non-union work and becoming union work and stuff like that. But they didn't, and that is very odd apparently in terms of, unions and things. I don't know too much about that, so again, I'm not going to dive too deep into it. But again, it seems like this isn't actually a very normal thing, and it's something that SAG-AFTRA are trying to get a little bit later on down the line, and it should have been done in the first place. Now, obviously, yeah, they keep going on saying about like AI protections and everything like that, but they go on to clarify a lot of very important things, which obviously, has, informed the community quite a bit, and this has gotten quite a lot of attention. I mean, it's gotten 200 likes and 23,000 views. So again, I don't think it's very much agreed with, but it is a little bit of a perspective from the voice actors, which I just wanted to give. But let's get on to the funny part of this entire drama. Is Venti's VA actually went on TikTok and made a song. Now, I'll let you listen to the song and you can kind of decide who you think it's aimed at.
Just can't seem to keep your mouth closed. Twist every situation to paint yourself the victim. Such pointed teeth behind your wool clothes. You'd solve your problems if you just could finally shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
So yeah, that's pretty much the song. I'm not going to continue playing it. I'm going to be real. I don't really like the song. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Venti's voice actor. It's nothing personal. I don't like the song, but it is quite funny. I like the song and the fact that people have been commenting, Erica, I know who this is targeted towards. They said, I'm just singing a little song, and obviously this one, if you know, you know. Laughing emoji thinking. So again, it seems like this could be kind of targeted towards Paimon's voice actor Karina, who hasn't been able to shut up pretty much online recently. But again, a lot of people are speculating that maybe that's not the case. It's just a coincidence. They were just releasing a song around about the same time, which has some pretty, I guess, relevant lyrics to the ongoing situation, which again is kind of funny in general because it does seem like the voice actors are kind of falling out with each other. Obviously, we had the initial Jacob Takanashi stuff with obviously him being attacked by the voice actors, which already creates this gap in terms of people who are on his side and people who are on the other side, which it just doesn't, make a good kind of community, I guess, between the voice actors. Now, obviously, they don't all have to get along, but I mean, they could just go and record their separate lines whenever they do go back to work. But the thing is, it's definitely going to cause a little bit of, I guess, tension inside of the workplace between a lot of these voice actors, especially the ones who have fallen out. Because again, it's definitely not a normal thing to happen. And, these people do tend to get a little bit spicy over on Twitter. They think they can say whatever they want over on social media. And it's probably going to come back to bite them whenever they go back into work, which again, isn't, what they exactly expected. But if we keep going as well, we got other voice actors too, including Kaylee Mills, who I talked about earlier with the Kuching voice actor, saying, this is the actual initial tweet that they put out saying Games signing the interim agreement is the best outcome for all voice actors. And they're pretty much just saying, hey, they should be signing it. And then they also got community noted saying Kayla Mills is still working on Goddess of Victory Nikkei during the strike. Nikkei has been temporarily changing their voice actors who participated in the strike ever since they started. So again, it seems like, she's getting angry at, all this stuff to do with Jacob, taking a role and voice actors being replaced. But whenever it comes to a different game and it's not HoYoverse, it's like, oh, no, that doesn't matter. I'll keep recording. Because, she voices one of the probably most important roles in Nikkei, I would say, which is Rappy. I'm pretty sure that's her name. And she is one of the main characters in Nikkei. She's the red, is it redhead? Or, she's got that kind of red character design. I don't know how to describe it. She's literally the face of the icon. So again, maybe that is due to the fact that, she pretty much is a main character of that game. So she doesn't want to say anything, bad about that one, which is kind of funny and, obviously really hypocritical. Now, obviously, a lot of people have been taking to Twitter saying it took till the incident with Kenichi's new VA for people to read and learn more about the strike, and now they are. It's having the opposite effect that the VAs actually intended, and they're not getting the support that they actually wanted. I don't know how they're going to earn that goodwill back, which again is definitely true. It definitely has backfired on them. They thought that this would actually, you know, blow up and people would be like, yeah, let's go strike, you know. But it turns out people aren't as stupid as maybe the Paimon voice actor thought, you know. Obviously, she was going there saying everyone's stupid and they know nothing and that, you know, they're all listening to liars on YouTube. But maybe the fact is, they've actually done a little bit of research and they're not that stupid and they actually know what is going on and they don't want to just blindly listen to a voice actor who crashes out on TikTok. So instead, they look it up themselves, they form their own opinion, and, you know, it just doesn't turn out very, very good for them whenever, you know, they do look into it. Now, obviously, you can keep going as well. This person, which actually got a little bit of traction, you know, got 192,000 views over on Twitter. They say Genshin English VAs are fucked. Isn't it interesting when they talk about Jacob Takanashi attacking him or harassing him, it's okay. But when people call out said toxic VA, that's where they draw the line. Now, obviously, they say, this is another tweet from Kaylee, and it says, this is one small job for him. So they're talking about Jacob here. They're saying this is one small job for him, not his full-time work. It's Karina's bread and butter. He's done very little VO work, so it isn't what he's relying on to pay the bills. For all we know, his wife's the breadwinner. Either way, they bought a house recently, so I doubt it was necessary for, you know, for survival. Very weird statement. I'm going to be real, you know, just kind of pocket watching voice actors. It's like, brother, what are you doing? You know, you shouldn't be kind of delving into his personal life, you know, that far. You know, I don't think it really matters whether he needs the job desperately or not. But, you know, in terms of becoming an upcoming voice actor and potentially making more money down the line, you know, it's very important. You know, it's a very important job. Yes, maybe they're financially stable now, but maybe down the line they're not. And maybe down the line, being a Genshin Impact voice actor can really help him land even more roles in the future, which are big and will pay him a lot of money, which could help him out down the line. And not to mention, you know, he's got a whole family. As he said, he's a dad in his bio. And, you know, even she says here, you know, he's just bought a house. A lot of people, whenever they buy a house, they don't end up very well off. They're not suddenly, oh, you know, I just bought a house, I'm so rich, I can still spend, I could probably buy another house if I wanted to. That's how, you know, good I am with the money at the moment. Usually, a lot of people, whenever they're, you know, buying a new house, it's like, oh, God, we'll have to live off canned beans for the next, like, 2 weeks. Because, again, they haven't managed to sort everything out, and they've spent a lot of the money into renovating the house, you know, buying new furniture, whatever, which can, you know, be pretty expensive and kind of, you know, hurt people financially. And that could also be the case. But the fact that we're even, you know, pocket watching this person you know, to start with is crazy. And obviously, you know, this is a fellow voice actor. This isn't just some person on Twitter, some random guy that is just like looking into Jacob Takanashi's or Takahashi. I forgot how to say his name. You know, they're not just looking in Takanashi. Sorry, I see it there. They're not just looking into his personal life and just being like a weird Twitter freak. This is a full-on voice actor who voices many popular roles, who's acting this childish, you know? And the same goes for a lot of the other voice actors, as I said, with Karina and stuff crashing out on TikTok, you know? I would see 15-year-olds doing that stuff over on TikTok, you know? You wouldn't expect, I don't know how old they are, but you wouldn't expect like an adult woman to be going on TikTok crashing out over YouTubers because they watched like one video which made them slightly upset, you know? Like, it's just so weird that all these voice actors are acting so childish, especially recently with all of this stuff actually going on. Now, obviously, yeah, there's even like, there's a reply here saying, it's all good, I like your work generally. However, I think talking very deliberately about a colleague's financial situation in a public way is not something that, you know, that looks good. Exactly. You know, even people who like these people's work are thinking, what the hell is going on? Even people who love Genshin Impact. You know, Genshin Impact recently, also the official subreddit, reached 3.5 million members, and I'm pretty sure this situation has helped them out a little bit here. You know, it's just getting worse and worse, and I think Genshin Impact fans are starting to get fed up of these voice actors and fed up of how childish they are. You know, this got 3,000 views and 7 likes. Like, you can see how much people did not like that, and even obviously other people like Mujin were saying, you know, she's literally pocket watching his house purchases, ain't no way, English VAs will generally never recover from this. And yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know where she got the information that, you know, he got a new house. But again, to even like look that up is absolutely crazy. I like, you know, I could just imagine her there like fucking 10 a.m. or something like that, being like, okay, let's see. Oh, let's check the real estate like market over in Japan. Oh yeah, that house was just bought by him. Oh, okay. Oh, he must be rich then because he's already bought a house. It's just like, why would he go that far? Like, I get like being a voice actor, maybe, you know, you want to put a little bit about SAG-AFTRA out there on your Twitter, be like, hey guys, I'm doing this, you know, it's a strike thing, you know, go support it, things like that. but then like just going and crashing out on Twitter, it's just like, oh my god, you know, first the Paimon voice actor, now the Kuching voice actor, who's next, you know? Probably not the Venti voice actor, seeing as, you know, they've been very outspoken against a lot of this stuff that's been going on, but overall it is pretty crazy to see that this situation is still going on, and these voice actors are still acting childish, and it could go on even further in the future due to this fact. But yeah, I'll keep you guys up to date if anything else goes on and if anything else actually happens with this situation, because it seems like there's stuff coming out every single day at the moment. So again, if there's stuff coming out every single day, I'll be covering it every single day. But yeah, I won't try to drag it on too long, but thank you guys for the support on the videos recently, especially on this situation, because again, they have been doing it very, very well for me, and you know, it's very nice to see that there are a lot of people who do actually, you know, care about this stuff and actually care about the fact that these voice actors are just being so horrible, especially online, you know? And so yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And yeah, also go to game subs, use the code Kaza, get 10% off, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.